Sweet the whispers in your ear whenever ember wanders near.
So yeah, we're gonna hit up a Pegasus video. We're gonna jump into the Legendary series. Because he's talking about where I know it's at least part of it is going to be in regards to Ethan dropping the lawsuit against iDubbbz. But he's getting more varied. Pegasus is getting more varied, and he is going to talk about Hasan. I did a scrub through here. There's gonna be stuff about Hasan in there. So I think it's gonna be funny because I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Hasan has basically been having venues that he's been wanting to basically poison people's minds at. Venues have been canceling on Hasan over and over and over again. He has been like scheduling rallies, and like a day or two before he's supposed to engage this rally, the venues called him and said, yeah, fuck off. So I think that may be in here. So let's jump in. I love Pegasus, so let's dive in.
Welcome back to a series so empathetic, even iDubbbz subscribed. In today's video, iDubbbz has just released an apology video to Ethan in a last attempt to avoid the lawsuit. This is after Ethan sued him for spreading Destiny's comment accusing him of touching his own kids. He talks about his kids and apologizes to Ethan's family, claiming he wants to make the world better and not be evil, I guess. Ethan has responded, officially dropping the lawsuit against iDubbbz. Asmin has responded claiming it's BS and iDubbbz doesn't mean it at all.
It's okay. I'm sure we'll probably hear about Asmin. Hello, American Royal. Thank you very much. Well, I probably dived into it a little bit further. I think iDubbbz might have actually meant it. I'll explain why when we get into the story, but I do think he actually, did mean it. Thank you, American Royal. Thank you very much for the 10 gifteds. Keep it real. I will try. I will do my best.
Hasan orbiters are going crazy on Twitter, dunking on Ethan, taking mercy as a sign of weakness. Hasan is crashing out at me for doing my job making drama videos. He claims us slop tubers simply get our notes from Twitter and Reddit and are automatically right-wing. Mr. 1 million tweets is talking. He then calls me out.
But by the way, everything we're about to hear, Hasan, this is going to dovetail in what we talked about at the top of the stream about the foiled terrorist attack. Depending on what we see in these clips is going to tie into that. Just wait.
Out for not talking about Donald Trump? Buddy, this is a YouTube drama channel. Hasan has been blacklisted from yet another event, and he is very upset.
Oh, yes.
He responds playing Ultimate Victim, saying this never happened to Charlie Kirk. Yeah, he only got assassinated. Destiny has responded having a complete meltdown at Hasan. Subscribe or you only discover empathy at 35. Tragic.
Let's up those numbers!
Now let's begin. Right, welcome back everybody to the greatest story ever told. We got twists and turns and everything. Right, so iDubbbz has finally apologized to Ethan. Basically, Ethan said that he would drop the lawsuits against iDubbbz and Noah Samson if they sincerely apologized to him.
And I still say that if Ian would issue a genuine apology, I'd probably think about dropping the lawsuit. I don't think he's ever genuinely apologized or reckoned with the fact that like what he did was so extraordinarily fucked up. Just acknowledging like what you did and your part in it.
Well, it turns out iDubbbz immediately realized that this was genuinely his last chance to avoid this lawsuit. So he posted a video where he apologizes. So
it's interesting. He's finally growing his hair back. I just realized this because Ian, remember, he shaved his head back when he did the content top. He did full shave, like not like pretty damn close to Nazi skinhead levels of short shaved head. He's letting it grow back now. Interesting.
Let's check it out real quick.
Basically, Ethan is suing me for having rebroadcasted a statement made by Destiny on my
Good night,
stream.
Iska.
I did display the very disgusting comment for 40 minutes, and it was wrong. It was a comment from Destiny, and I even said that I don't agree with it, but
No, he didn't, though. That's the thing. He didn't say he didn't agree with it. He just said, oh, in that fake British accent, because he was pretending to be a Welsh dragon, was saying, oh, that's very interesting. I'll just leave it here. This is very interesting, is it not? He never said he didn't believe it. We watched the clip of that. He never said that he didn't believe it.
it sort of highlights how I knew that it was a wrong thing to put out there into the universe and show people. Regardless of the point I was making, it was wrong. I was angry, and I was like, how do I get this guy to, one, not clip me, not mock me and harass me on his live stream, and two, this guy's a fucking bully. I'm angry. I'm angry that this multimillionaire is silencing people and suing people.
So, if this is his apology, it is a shit apology. Because he's like, I'm tired of this guy bullying me. Gamer, you're attacking his fucking family. You attack him all the time. If you had literally just talked about anything else, Ethan wouldn't fucking care. But the fact is, Ian was consistently going after Ethan all day fucking every day. And Ethan finally said, I'm done, and Cookboy here couldn't handle the smoke. And as soon as Ethan contacted, because bear in mind, don't forget, iDubbbz, here is why I think iDubbbz is going tail between his legs. Don't forget, Ian is in Canada. He is in BC, Canada with Anissa. They are living in, last I've heard, I don't know if this has changed or not, but last I heard, they were living in Anissa's parents' house. That is where they were, that is where I believe they may be currently residing. They don't even have their own place. They're living in Anissa's parents' house because they're broke. They are completely broke, and they're in Canada. Now, here's the rub of why being in Canada is important. Canada takes defamation and slander more seriously than the US does. And so Ethan reached out to a Canadian lawyer in regards to the slander or the defamation facilitated by Ian. And the Canadian lawyer went, ooh, I can play with this. And again, it's much easier to get a judgment against someone for slander or defamation in Canada than it is for the US. So that's why he went, oh shit. And that's why he's backpedaling and eating shit as fast as possible once he got served with the lawsuit. So that is a key note of distinction.
Who have a much smaller audience than he does, and can barely defend themselves. And so,
and you're right. You're right. Asman saying, putting it best when he said like his whole YouTube career has been bullying, like with the content cops and shit like that. Yeah, that has been his whole career. And now that basically it's the classic thing of when the bully gets confronted either by the bigger bully or by someone that will stand up to him and say, "You're not going to bully me," they instantly back down. Proof positive. That's correct.
I'm angry. I don't like bullies, so I wanted to do something.
And there's the comment. You are the bully. Thank you, Tornado.
Right. So basically, he's saying that he got emotional and did some stupid shit, right? Where he decided to display Destiny's comment accusing him of touching his own children.
And by the way, this comment during this stream, we saw a clip of it. He kept this comment up on screen for, I believe it was reported, 45 minutes. This comment from Destiny saying, quick daily reminder that Ethan from H3H3 is likely a PDF who has abused his own children. This comment was left on screen for about 45 minutes from what I've heard in reports.
Not very stoic of you, iDubbbz, and not very empathetic either. Apparently, Mr. Empathy here couldn't realize that, hey, that's probably a bad idea, you know?
Yeah.
Forgive him, he's not 40 years old. You only unlock that skill at 40, actually. Anyways, gonna give my honest opinion here. I think this is a bunch of baloney, right? If iDubbbz wasn't getting sued, do you think he would apologize? Do you genuinely think he would apologize?
No, it's from the same exact reason why Casey Tron did her bullshit apology. Because you know what's going to happen? Same thing that happened with Casey Tron. Casey Tron did her hostage-style video where she, quote-unquote, apologized to Ethan for what she did. And then literally a week later, she went right back to what she always did before. Even though in her hostage video, she said, I'm not going to do this again. I realize the error of my ways. And then a week later, she was literally right back at it again. Is iDubbbz going to do the same thing? Yeah, probably. Yeah, iDubbbz is making this apology. Ethan's dropping the lawsuit on it. And within a week, the heat's going to die down and he's going to do the same goddamn thing again. He's going to go right back to doing what he did before. He may not go as hard. Maybe he'll have actually learned a lesson and not go as hard. Like, Casey Tron has not, to my understanding, Casey Tron has not gone after Ethan himself. Like, her horrendous behavior is back on full display. But I don't think Casey Tron has actually gone after Ethan himself since she had to make her hostage video. iDubbbz may do the same route. Like, in a week, his bad behavior may come back again after this apology, but I don't think he's going to direct it at Ethan like he has done in the past, because on a whim, Ethan can just snap his fingers and have his lawyer drop that lawsuit again if he does it. So he may back off on any statements about Ethan. He may, which in my opinion would be the best thing for him, move on from Ethan and prove that he is not literally a one-trick dog shit pony. Because at present, literally the only thing iDubbbz has is going after Ethan. That's literally all he's got. So he needs to, Ian needs to move on from Ethan and Ilya and move on to something else. The best thing for iDubbbz to do is to literally just forget they exist and go on with something else. Because honestly, focusing on H3 writ large is destroying any chances he has of making any kind of a comeback in the streaming space. So he needs to just disappear Ethan from his mind and just move the fuck on.
Answer is almost a guaranteed no. That's in my opinion, right? The only reason he's actually doing this is basically a last effort to avoid the lawsuit. This is his attempt at begging for mercy, and even that he does in the most annoying fucking passive aggressive way possible, as you'll see. And I love how he calls Ethan the biggest bully. What about you, dog? You started this whole thing.
Yes.
You're episode 1 of the Legendary series, making the content cop video. I mean, I'm grateful because you literally gave me an entire year of content with all these different individuals involved in this situation. But in my opinion, in your content cop, you were basically justifying the CPS call, giving excuses for it, doubling down, right? This was basically Frogan's equivalent of based.
Based?
So forgive me if I find it hard to believe that he's being genuine here. So then he tries to take some accountability. He says,
Is he being genuine? I think he was half genuine. I think he's legitimately scared that Ethan could fuck up his life with a lawsuit. Because even if Ian wins, see, iDubbbz loses no matter what if Ethan pushes forward with the lawsuit. That's the keynote of distinction here. And I think he knows this. Ethan doesn't need to score a win. Ethan doesn't need to have the judgment in his favor. That would basically be a bonus if Ethan got judgment in his favor. The win is he files the lawsuit against iDubbbz, and then iDubbbz burns through every dime he owns trying to defend himself. So even if iDubbbz wins the court case, he still loses everything because he burned all of this money trying to defend himself. And that, I think, was the goal in and of itself in the end. Ethan still hurts him, regardless if he wins the settlement, wins the suit or not. He still wins. So Ethan was coming out the winner on this, no matter which way it happened. And Ethan knew it, and iDubbbz knew it. And so iDubbbz said, before I have to start spending tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars on an attorney and basically drain through any meager savings I might actually have and go completely fucking broke because of this, I'll just acquiesce and do the apology and hope Ethan considers it good enough to drop the lawsuit. And apparently Ethan did. So basically, Ethan just teabagged the fuck out of iDubbbz and said, "You're my bitch." That's what this is. Even with the apology and Ethan saying, "Yeah, I'll drop the lawsuit." Even if people go, "Well, there's no way Ethan was going to win this lawsuit. iDubbbz's going to win the lawsuit." That didn't matter. In the end, it didn't matter. Ethan just showed iDubbbz that he can afford to destroy his life financially by dragging him through court by Ian basically talking shit about him. He can make him spend tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars if he wanted to, and it's not going to hurt Ethan at all. In fact, it'll probably just boost him in the social media space, and essentially just slapped his balls right on Ian's face and said, "You're my bitch." And Ian just went, "Yeah, you are." Or, "Yeah, I am," I should say.
That it was disgusting and irresponsible.
And, without checking in with myself of whether or not that was a right or wrong thing to do. I justified it in my head at the time. I was like, okay, well, it's not my words, and it's actually said by a really bad guy, Destiny. Not a fan of that guy. It's very clear that it was
Not a fan of that guy, except he popped up the quote on the screen and said, "Ooh, someone should look into this, I think." But you're not a fan of Destiny or anything.
never the right thing to do. It was a comment about Ethan and his children, and it was disgusting. I said at the time in the stream that I don't agree with it.
No, you didn't.
But
No,
still
you didn't. That's
sharing
why
it
you're
and
getting
broadcasting it to people for 40 minutes, that was an irresponsible and reckless thing to do. Especially for parents. Like, there are many parents with kids out there who do not want to see that shit, and it's painful.
Correct.
And I'm sure it was extremely painful for Ethan and Hila to read that shit and have it
fuck.
pop up again and again and again. And just because it's coming from a piece of shit guy, and I'm showing it to people, like, look what this piece of shit said. It's wrong. It's wrong to do. And I didn't,
Uh-huh.
I didn't come to this overnight, right? Like, to be frank, I'm angry.
He's always saying he doesn't like Destiny to stay in good graces with Anissa's crush. Who's Anissa's crush this week? What is it? What does Anissa want to fuck Hasan or something? Because that's like the only good graces crush that I could think of. Like, does she want to like fuck Hasan? It would surprise. It would not surprise me. I don't keep up with who Anissa likes to spread her legs for, so I quite frankly don't care. Anybody that partakes of that, well, wrap it up and make sure you had your shots, because you're definitely going to be coming away with something. But that's a whole different thing.
I do not like Ethan. I think he's doing a lot of damage to people online. And it changed the way that I was thinking about it.
Wow, I guess he finally realized it was actually painful for his family. Congrats, Ian, you have unlocked empathy once again at the age of 35.
Well, here's the funny part. He's like, I can understand how this could be painful to see as parents. Hey, Ian, how would you understand that? How could you empathize with that? Your own wife said she's never going to have children with you. Your own wife cucked you on stream and said to the dozen people that watch your stream, I don't want you to father children with me. Yeah, she royally just destroyed her own husband on stream and said, I don't want to bear your children. I don't think you'd make an attractive baby. Or I don't think you would father an attractive baby, or something to that effect. So how exactly are you going to have empathy for parents when you're never going to be one because your own wife said, I will never bear your child? Yeah, she actually she did him worse than Will Smith. Okay, now let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy. You know, she did him bad, but in a completely different way than Jada did to Will. We're comparing a little bit of apples to oranges here, if we're gonna be honest. Yo, Jada fucked over Will in a much more verbose way. Yeah, granted, both Jada and Anissa fucked other guys while their husband sat in the cock chair. I mean, that's about where the similarity ends. Let's be real. Jada basically, you know, humiliated Will on a much more public stage in a much more public way to a much higher degree. Let's be real on this one.
Absolutely shocking. Dude, I just find it crazy that a grown man needs to be told this relentlessly by the internet for so long to finally actually come out and apologize for this. And yeah, obviously you were mad because Ethan was completely destroying you in the online discourse, right? And therefore you resorted to these dirty, cheap tactics, as do most of the Hasan orbiters. They actually can never address the core of the issue or the arguments at hand, so they just go as low as humanly possible. But iDubbbz just didn't even have like the backing for that, so it completely backfired on him. So then he specifically brings up his kids.
I didn't think about it. I didn't ground myself. I didn't think about, oh, like who is actually being affected in this instance. And Ethan's family and his kids are being affected. You know, I just because I don't like Ethan, I think it's wrong to find an attack vector that is his kids. It's foul. It's not okay. And I think it was wrong for me to use.
I don't believe you. I just don't believe you. The very phrasing that you're using makes me not believe you. When someone is giving a genuine apology, when they're saying, I was in a state where I did not even consider that, you know, bringing your kids into something like this, how it would affect you, how it would affect your kids, how it could affect the, you know, exterior forces coming at you about your kids. You don't use the words, I didn't think about, use the vector of going after kids. Someone who is issuing a genuine apology does not use that terminology. Someone that talks about using vectors is basically is basically speaking, quote unquote, tactically. Okay, you guys have heard me when I have when I have talked to you guys and I've been emotional about it, where I feel like I did something that wasn't right in respect to you guys, and I've made an apology to you guys for something I may have said or something I may have done, where I just I let my, you know, I let the heat of the moment, or I let the heat of my anger get the better of me and immediately go, oh shit, that was a terrible thing to say, and I've made an apology immediately. I don't use tech terms like that was the wrong vector to go at this particular thing. No. You don't, when you're giving a genuine apology, you don't use that terminology unless you have very carefully scripted it, which, hey, look where his eyes are going right now. Could he potentially be reading off a script? I think so. So it means that this isn't a genuine apology.
Use the Destiny screenshot as a cudgel to make my point. I didn't need to use the Destiny screenshot.
He's reading a script. Notice his eyes keep darting to the right.
There's a million other ways I could have done it. But I didn't, and I regret that I didn't. And
he's got the full script on a computer screen right off camera over here that he's reading off of. Like this is why I don't trust any apology that gets script read. I don't trust anybody, like any content creator that has to make an apology reading a script. I don't trust. He probably got it approved by Ethan. Maybe. That's entirely possible. That is entirely possible. And hi, Crixus. Hello. It's like I've done apologies to you guys before for like losing my cool, for blowing my top. on either on in general or at one of you guys. Like there's been a couple times, a couple of you guys have said something, and I've just gone off the fucking rails, and I went after you. And immediately I was like, oh my God, that was horrible for me to do. That was terrible. And I immediately apologize. I did, even when it's been like a day after, even when something happened and I'm coming back the next day for the next stream. I'm not reading a fucking apology. You know what I'm reading when I make my apology? I'm reading you guys. I'm reading the chat while I apologize if I've done something inappropriate or if I went off the handle and I yelled at you guys or something. Yeah, it's something that I feel at like all fucking day. But I don't have a script on my monitor. What I look at is I look at you guys. Because guess who I'm talking to? I'm talking to you guys. This is not an apology. This is a carefully crafted set of words that he's constantly reading from and is just basically robotically delivering it and pretending like he actually means it. So you can boo me during an apology. Technically, yes, you could. It would be mean of you guys, especially because I mean it. But yes, technically, you can boo me if I'm apologizing. Although it would be pretty mean of you to boo me while I'm crying my eyes out. Just saying.
I regret that I ever put that screenshot on my live stream. That's the main reason why I feel like I do need, for myself, for my soul, to own up to this and acknowledge that I went too far. It wasn't okay. Ethan and Hila and their family do not deserve that.
Wow, I guess he randomly grew a soul as well. Oh my God.
No, he didn't.
The Dementor Anissa actually sucked out every bit of his soul, but apparently he actually had some left. He regrew it after getting humiliated on the internet. I mean, I at least appreciate him sort of being in-depth here and specific. That is one thing that you definitely need in an apology video, like address exactly what you did wrong. At least he addresses that part of it, so that's appreciated. But I imagine the Hasan orbiters are going to get very mad, like, no, iDubbbz, no, you can't let Ethan win again. Are you kidding me? You can't admit that he was right. Yeah, and we'll check out Twitter in a bit. There's absolute chaos going on. But
I mean, we're going to get to Hasan later in this. I'm waiting for Hasan to say, Israel got to him. Ratings for that. Sea Hunter, thank you for the tier 3. Thank you very much. Love you because you don't BS us when you have to talk to us, and that's why we love you straight to the point. Thank you, bitchy. Thank you very much.
But yeah, these people genuinely need to come back down to reality, and sometimes it does take a lawsuit in order to do that. And I really think that this might be a result of the Moist video. It really put things into perspective for both iDubbbz and Ethan. The situation got so big, and iDubbbz was being defended even when he didn't deserve it, so maybe it melted his heart a bit, I don't know. So then he says that he actually wants to make the world a better place, guys, and he doesn't want to be this evil, heinous person.
At the end of the day, whatever happens with the lawsuit is what it is. For myself, I needed to make it known on the internet that what I did was wrong, and I don't want to be that person. I don't want to behave that way. I want to make content that I'm proud of. I don't want to give in to a harassment back and forth online.
By the way, just as a reminder, chat, this is the same guy, along with Anissa, who made the claim that they know what life in Iran is like better than a native Iranian who escaped from that country. And bearing in mind, Ian and Anissa have never been to Iran in their lives. And they, on stream, made the claim when a guy from Iran, they're watching a video about a guy from Iran who's talking about like how amazing America was because there are just women, just singing and dancing and having fun and doing whatever they want. And these two were saying that's not how life is like in Iran. And they've never been there. And this was a guy who literally escaped from Iran. That's this guy. Okay? Yes, the guy who danced around mocking Ethan a year ago. Yeah, it's all of a sudden, I don't want to be a bad guy. I have yet to see any evidence to support this statement whatsoever.
I want to put my energy into making content that I can be proud of and that I'm not going to be ashamed of because
that ship
I
has
lost
sailed.
the plot. I want to stay focused. I want to check in with myself and know what it is I want to be and what I want to do and what message I want to spread.
It's too late. It's literally too wet. It's too late. There's honestly some people can find redemption. Some people can absolutely find redemption when they've done something in the content creation space. If they've done something if they've done something bad and the internet is turned against them, there are some people that absolutely can turn it around. We've seen it happen before, where people have been able to turn things around, come back stronger and better than before. That ship has sailed for Ian. He has basically dug himself down so deep, no one's going to give a shit about him anymore. He doesn't get anybody into his streams. He has no support from the public in his streams. Everybody's going to look at him as basically the guy that went after Ethan's kids. They're going to look at him as the guy that did the content cop. That like a baseless content cop where like the whole 20 minutes of it was like, wake up, Ethan, wake up. Like they're gonna look at the guy that was they're gonna look at him as the guy that basically said, I know what Iranian life is better than a native Iranian, even though I've never been there. No. The ship has sailed. It's time for you to start learning how to put the fries in the back. Cause your career as a content creator, I'm sorry, you screwed your own career. You're done. I don't see Ian being... Now, he could prove me wrong. He absolutely could prove me wrong and do a complete 180 and just come back with a vengeance and end up having a tremendous content creation career. He could. I'm not saying it's outside the realm of possibility. Gut feeling, not happening. Because people will remember. If it was one thing, maybe he could overcome it. But it's one thing after the other, after the other, after the other, and you're correct. He's probably not going to change even after this apology. So no, there's probably no coming back for it.
And this isn't a message I want to spread. So I'm sorry to Ethan and Ela and your family. You guys didn't deserve that. I'm going to think about all of this a lot more, I'm sure.
She's destroying him.
But...
You are correct. She is
I
100%
really do want
destroying
to just get back to making the content that I want to make. Having said all that, I wish everyone the best. I genuinely want to see a better world, and I do not want to be a contributor to what makes it terrible. So long. Bye-bye.
Right. I mean, good step one, iDubbbz. Good step one. Now, step two is to remove yourself from the cult of Hasan and his orbiters, and remove yourself from this extreme brain rot politics. And please.
And he won't do that because Anissa is hungry for that inverted micro penis, and as long as he's with Anissa, he's going to remain within that orbit.
Please, for the love of God, stop trying to become the white Hasan.
Especially if people see me as the white Hasan.
I swear to God, this will not end well, okay? Whatever your crusade is, trying to become this woke political commentator or whatever, it's just not working. Go back to your old content. Go do something else. Even make your shitty tier list playground videos. I don't care. Anything other than the woke nonsense you're doing. Dude, can you imagine that iDubbbz does a complete 180 and he becomes like the super edgy person again? That would be so crazy. But like if it happened once, it could probably happen again. But I don't know, man. I don't think anyone will believe it this time. I feel like he's pretty far gone at this point. Oh my God, I just realized my next year of content. The iDubbbz and Anissa divorce arc. Oh my Lord. Can you imagine what's going to come out of that? Holy shit. But yeah, in my opinion, I just don't believe a word he says. Like he would not do this out of the goodness of his heart. It is purely to save his own ass. Anyways, Ethan responded here. Hi, Ian. I appreciate the thoughtful apology. It means a lot. I've instructed my attorneys to drop the lawsuit entirely. Oh my God. iDubbbz is literally...
So Ethan just basically won again. He literally just won again by basically being merciful. He basically comes across as, all I needed was an apology. I got an apology. I'm going to be the bigger person because I still have a good case against you, but I'm going to be the bigger person and accept your apology and drop a lawsuit. He just, like, Ethan was going to, that was the thing. Ethan went into this knowing he was going to win. Just like he went into the lawsuits with Casey, Tron, Denims, and Frogan, knowing that in the end he's going to win because he is. Ethan is like with those three. Even if there's a judgment in favor of Denims, he still fucking wins because he got Casey trying to fold. He got a default judgment against Frogan. And with Denims, he got her to basically show to the world what a piece of garbage she is. And he's still winning 2 out of 3 cases, so he still wins. With Ian, he's just basically, either I'm going to destroy you financially with this lawsuit, or you're going to come to me on bended knee and beg for forgiveness and apologize. Either way, he wins. So with all of these court cases, Ethan is doing nothing but winning. He's coming out on top every single time. And he's not coming out on top looking like a bully either. Because he has been responsive to them attacking him, and he has reciprocated. So it's like he's not only winning, he's winning in a way that that normal, intelligent people will view as he's not being a bully. He's just achieving victory over someone that attacked him in the first place. So any way you look at it, Ethan is winning all of this.
Fucking dancing in his basement right now. He's like, oh my god, let's go. Let's fucking go. I fucking totally fooled him and baited him, dude. Here's what I think happened, right? After Moist made his video, Ethan was getting a lot of pressure from the internet as well, and he kind of felt like, oh, he doesn't want to be this evil bad guy. Moist compared him to literally...
Charlie said this will set a terrible precedent. I didn't watch Charlie's video, but if Charlie's video in that it's supposedly setting a terrible precedent, where if something says something bad about you on the internet, you could sue, I disagree. I disagree. Because the things that were said to Ethan by iDubbbz, by Caseytron, by Frogan, by Denims, by that other guy that he's also suing. Those are direct attacks that are basically like vicious attacks where it is basically sicking the internet on him and his family, where he was getting copious amounts of harassment, where people were sending him skulls. Yes, they were fake skulls, but that is an implied threat, sending CPS to his house. You had iDubbbz putting a message on screen claiming that Ethan abused that he is a PDF and abuses his children. Like, these are real world consequences of these people coming after Ethan. So I do not besmirch Ethan whatsoever for filing lawsuits, because this was affecting Ethan and Ilya in their personal lives and affecting their children. So I disagree with Charlie in that respect, in that this sets a terrible precedent. Because when you are a content creator, when you are in the space, either in the YouTube space or the streaming space, and you have a following of some note, there is a responsibility on your part as the content creator, as the streamer, to make it very clear that you will not accept attacks being made against someone else. That is why I have made it very clear that I will not accept or allow any brigading to be done on my behalf by my community. I make that very fucking clear. I make it clear that I will accept no brigading being done. I will accept no threats of violence. We're speaking of inflicting violence against people when we're reacting to videos or something. I've made that very clear because I take that responsibility as a streamer very seriously. I came into this knowing that my voice eventually, and now we are at the eventually, can carry at least a tiny bit of weight in terms of people who watch my content, who join me on stream, and what I say about other things. And that is why I've made the rules very clear from the jump, is that I will accept no brigading, I will accept no threats against other people's lives, health, or safety. And should anybody do that, you go away. You're no longer here. And I've done it. Like, I don't fuck around with that. I have actually, like, literally nuked people off my stream for people that do exactly that. Like, I stand by my word that if you do it, I will boot you out of here so fast your fucking head will spin. And I've done it. I stand by my word on that. As a content creator, you do need to, there is a degree of you are not responsible for other people's actions, but at the same time, you need to make it clear that you do not consider this kind of behavior acceptable. If you make it nebulous, if you make it nebulous about well, you know, if something were to happen to this person, that's tacitly giving permission to the rabid followers of yours to go do something crazy. So you know, while there is personal responsibility, you as a streamer, because you have a voice that is somewhat elevated a bit more than the people that are watching you, because the people that watch you, they listen to you, they take in your words, and some of them, depending on the individual, may basically look to you for guidance or advice. So that is a responsibility that you have to accept as a content creator or as a streamer when you do your content creation or streaming. If you are unable to accept this responsibility, don't do the content creation or don't do the stream. You need to make it clear to your audience that, yeah, I may be pissed. Yeah, I may be screaming and raging about something, but at the end of the day, you want to stay within the letter of the law. You do not want to, you do not allow for you're not calling for brigades against anybody. You're not calling for violence against anybody. And you need to make that perfectly clear. Every content creator needs to do this. Hands down. That's it.
Nintendo, just suing everybody or whatever. So he probably wanted some excuse to drop the lawsuit. And he did actually previously say as well that if iDubbbz genuinely apologized, he would drop it. This wasn't a genuine apology, but, it was good enough to cross the threshold, I guess. Filthy Frank got out at exactly the right time. Empathy levels increasing. The video should be titled, "Please Stop Suing Me." Exactly.
Not
That's
wrong.
like the
Not
true
wrong.
reason for this. What we do is go back. Imagine telling everyone about this beef in 2016. This is why, real life is so much more entertaining than fiction. You would never predict this level of cinema. Oh my god. Look at the twists and turns. Lawsuits, no lawsuits. Hasan threatening to lawsuit me, bro. Come on. Nobody
This
could
has
have
been a
predicted
crazy
this.
fucking
This is
year.
legitimate cinema. Should have done this video in a dragon VTuber model. That would have hit way harder. Homeboy looked at his balance and decided this is cheaper than doubling down.
Exactly.
Yeah, bro. He needed to afford those $3 plates. He needed to afford a brand new cuck chair for Anissa's OnlyFans photo shoots. He really saw Ethan say, "All I want is an apology," and ran with it. I don't like bullies. Bullies people. Basically cry bullies, all of them. God, I miss when things were fun. Well, to be fair, okay, things are pretty fun here. It's
This
just
is
not
kinda
fun
fun,
if you're
honestly.
iDubbbz.
Let's be
I
real.
took a wrong turn and I'm in the fuck timeline. Hey, any timeline
That was
with
back
the
with Harambe.
legendary series is the right timeline. Right, so Asmongold responded, speaks on iDubbbz's YouTube apology. He's not really sorry.
Not really sorry. And how that will be proven is his behavior in the future. I think he will continue to insinuate very, very awful things about people, and he will play up other people that do the same thing. And so I don't believe anything that he's saying at all.
And Asmongold's right about that. But what I do think is when it comes to Ethan, I do think he's going to back off. This is just like I'm saying with Casey Tron. Casey Tron, maybe a week after she did her hostage video apology, she was right back to her normal shit. With one exception, is she wasn't going after Ethan. I think iDubbbz is going to do the exact same thing. Within 1 week, he's going to go right back to how he was, except he's going to adjust his target and not be targeting Ethan. Or if he does, it's going to be much softer. But his behavior undoubtedly will not change. He's going to go right back to doing what he's been doing.
I don't. So, yeah, because it's like you're just being a weasel. You're being a weasel just like you've always been. And it's just you're using different versions.
Yeah, it's very hard to believe a genuine change in heart, but whatever. Ethan got what.
As Miguel said, he had the mentality that if he goes after someone, he won't stop until they're gone, and that's where he's coming from, I think. Maybe. It's possible. I do think he might be a little bit gun shy, especially. He's not going to go after, here's the thing, he's not going to go after the big content creators anymore. He's not going to go after Ethan-sized content creators because Ethan has established that Canadian law is different from the U.S. law, especially when it comes to slander and defamation. And so he won't go after big content creators that can afford to file a lawsuit of this nature. So if he does go after people, it's going to be against like smaller content creators that maybe are not so financially capable of defending themselves. That's I think that how he might like shift tact.
What he wanted. This was, at the end of the day, it was up to him whether he wanted to pursue this lawsuit. And I can't get over the fact that Charlie actually saved iDubbbz. He made Ethan feel bad enough, and this is right after iDubbbz called him a path to the alt-right, like a spineless rat or something. I don't know exactly remember.
It's part of the pipeline, though. It's the same reason people wouldn't say Charlie, Moist Critical, is right-wing or like as ideologically fucked out there as like a Nick Fuentes or even Asmongold, right? Like,
but I swear to God, this is unironic.
Okay, let's be real. Charlie wouldn't care. Charlie is just like Charlie is just so generally chill. Like people saying something about him, he's not gonna care. Like look at the quote unquote heat that he took when it came to like what was it, months back. There was that one moment, I forget exactly what he said. It was something in regards to like with like trans kids or something like that. He said something that people that people took issue with and didn't like his perspective. You can agree if it was good or bad. I quite frankly don't care. And like that lasted for like, I don't know, a couple days. But because Charlie is generally just so chill, he just didn't care and just let it ride out and just moved on. And people like forgot about it for the most part, like a couple days later. So like iDubbbz saying something about Charlie he's not going to care. Charlie is not going to give a shit because Charlie has more money than he ever needs to do with. He literally streams for fun, and I think he doesn't even stream as much as he used to anymore because Charlie never has to work another day in his life, and he doesn't care. He's at the point in his life where he just doesn't fucking care about the drama and just does whatever he wants to do.
Because of Moist Critical. Like straight up, Charlie just saved iDubbbz's life. People responded, this was an apology. I wouldn't have accepted if I was Ethan. Ethan is a bully. What about 5 influencers with tens of thousands of audience picking on one family? Yeah, this is what I think. Like, he was pretty mean even in the apology as well, which is why a lot of people are saying you shouldn't have accepted it. But
it's tactical. Because even if Ian was kind of a shitbag in his apology, Ethan going, I'm going to be the generous one. I'm going to be the bigger person and accept your apology and drop the lawsuit that everyone knows will absolutely destroy you financially. So I'm going to be the bigger person. So he comes out smelling like roses, which was probably his intention in the first place. That was probably his intention in the first place, because no matter which way this went, Ethan was going to come out looking great. And that's why, even after the bullshit apology, Ethan because at this point is Ethan with millions of dollars is punching down on this little content creator and suing him when he probably doesn't have any money. And now Ethan's going, you know what? I'm going to be the bigger person and I'm just going to drop the lawsuit. You gave an apology as making it seem like it was a genuine apology, even if it wasn't. And he's going to say, you know what? I'm going to be the bigger person and accept your apology and drop the lawsuit. And Ethan comes out looking like a winner. Regardless.
I just think he just didn't want to be like this villain person or this anti-hero type person. Much smaller audience, and whose fault is that? iDubbbz, no! Don't give these ghouls a freaking inch. We could literally just flip that right around on you, and we'll...
Chat. Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see in this person saying, no, don't give them an inch? Double communism. We have double communism going, no, don't give these ghouls a fucking inch. So opinion immediately sent into the pit of Mount Doom.
Ghouls a freaking inch. We could literally just flip that right around on you, and we'll see why in a second. Can't even imagine being Anissa's husband at this point. A lolcow who isn't entertaining, a husband who isn't a partner, a man who lost his own name, a personality who doesn't even have the courage of his own shitty convictions, a ruined and terrible form of life. Rick from Game of Thrones. Idubbbz is full stop gonna get false accusations from Anissa when she gets bored, and nobody's going to defend him because he kind of deserves it. Dude, you might have just predicted the future, like straight up. The divorce arc is going to go absolutely nuts, and you know they're doing absolutely everything they can to stay together at this point. We got the terminal Hasan bot. Ethan is still a piece of shit loser, but thank God he had a moment of clarity. Anissa must be in shambles right now. Anyways, the Hasan cult is desperately trying to twist the story. We got Hasan's dogshit editor. Ethan Klein has dropped his defamation suit against Idubbbz after being widely mocked online. He had attempted to sue Idubbbz for showing a comment. No mention of the apology. Literally no mention of the apology. How do you do this? This is insane. Of course, we need to put it in the second tweet that nobody's gonna see, right? The main tweet. Why did he actually fucking drop the lawsuit? No, we can't show that. After Idubbbz apologized, you seem to have missed that part. It's 100% intentional with these fucking propaganda accounts, dude. Yeah, we got another one of his Dick Rider editors. Ethan Klein has officially dropped his frivolous defamation lawsuit against Idubbbz. This comes after Idubbbz apologized for a third time. What are you smoking? No hate for Idubbbz for doing what he needs to do to avoid financial hardship, but it's unfortunate that Ethan Klein is demonstrating for everybody that abusing legal and support systems to bully your enemies into silence is simply a winning tactic that there are few defenses for.
And I'm guessing that is what Charlie was saying. That's probably the point that Charlie was making, is that Ethan is supposedly abusing the legal system and support systems to bully his enemies. When no, disagree. This was Ethan counterattacking. He was getting hit on multiple fronts from multiple content creators, and so he basically punched back. It's not Ethan's fault that the people that were punching him can't handle it when a bigger fist hits him in the mouth. That's not Ethan's fault. If they don't want the smoke, then they shouldn't be coming at him with the flame. But they did, and they paid for it, and guess what? Maybe it's a lesson learned. Doubtful, but you know what? You fuck around, you're gonna find out. And every single one of these people fucked around. Yeah, it's like, it's not abuse if it's true. Which part? Which part are you saying is true? Just for clarification. Not sure what you're referencing here. Like, it's like he had like 5 people coming at him, making accusations of all sorts about him that were affecting his family, that had like people targeting his family. And so he struck back. And he struck back in the best way. And guess what? It shut them all up. Idubbbz did slander Ethan, maybe not enough to win the lawsuit. That can be debatable. That's what the court system's all about, is to determine was this slander enough to win a lawsuit. That's, whether or not it is or not, that we are not, the lawsuit wasn't frivolous. Okay, the lawsuit wasn't frivolous. Okay, that's what I wanted clarification on. Yes, so agree. Yeah, the lawsuit itself wasn't frivolous. Whether or not Ethan would have received a judgment in his favor, that certainly could be debated, but yeah, definitely not a frivolous lawsuit. Okay.
Dude, if he actually wanted him ruined, he would ruin him. Like, how are you still fucking crying and complaining? These people are ridiculous. Like, just take the W at this point. Eventually, he's gonna get so mad, he's gonna end up bankrupting one of you bozos. Anissa copes and seethes about Canada's superior apology-based legal system. Total Jomha destruction. Here we go. Anissa, please do not apply U.S. laws to the Canadian courts. Canada's legal system encourages genuine self-reflection and earnest apologies. Please trust that what is being done is what feels right. Ian's apology was not done to avoid the lawsuit. Oh my god. Kappa Chungus. It was done because he felt like it was something he wanted to do for himself.
Oh god. It's honestly so bad that she's trying to run defense for him like this, and it's not even good defense. Everybody knows.
So that was a fucking lie.
Like everybody knows. Rena, thank you for the sub. Thank you very much.
Course, we're totally buying that. Idubbbz would have apologized, even if there was no lawsuit, guys. Surely he would just have a magical change of heart. In 2 months, they'll take another swing at H3's kids, and we'll be back here again. I hope they never learn. This is exactly what happened.
That part I don't think that they'll do. They'll go after other people. That I'm sure. I don't think they're going to take another swing at Ethan and his kids. That part, I do think they might have actually learned their lesson. He's not going to be a better person, not by any stretch, but I do think he realizes that maybe he can't go after Ethan anymore because Ethan will slap him in the mouth.
Happens. Basically, they will just go back to their own ways, and I don't know if it's specifically going to be about H3. Like, Caseytron is just basically going after everybody but H3, or maybe even him. I don't know. I don't really keep...
Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. This is precisely what I'm talking about. Did Caseytron change? No. Did she go after Ethan again after this? No. So this is exactly my point. Is Ian going to change? No. Is he going to go after Ethan? No. Job done by Ethan. Ethan's goal here is not to change these people and make them better people. That's not what he's doing. What he's doing is saying, you fuck around, you're going to find out, and you have to live with the consequences, especially if you attack me. That was his intention, is you keep fucking with me, I'm going to hook you. Message received. Caseytron's not fucking with Ethan anymore. She's going after other people, but she's not going after Ethan. That's what's going to happen with Ian, and that's exactly what I'm saying.
Keep up with her too much, but she's definitely as obnoxious and annoying as always. Right, so Hasan is crashing out at me again for my drama videos. Apparently, threatening me with a lawsuit and arrests and beating and talking about executions didn't actually work in silencing me, despite deranged, delusional Hasan fans celebrating that they won, of course. Yeah. So it seems like he's gone back to basics. Surely one more crash out will fix the problem. Hasan calls out the YouTube commentary sphere for focusing on him more than Trump and other far-right figures like Asmongold.
Whether we like to admit it or not, even if amongst normies, amongst the normie sphere, okay? Amongst the normie sphere, politics is very different than the internet, specifically YouTube commentary. There are many different pockets of very woke places online. You know, you got TikTok, there's a woke slant there, maybe even hyper woke at times. But a lot of the commentary sphere get their notes from Twitter and Reddit. And unfortunately, Reddit is very malleable and easy to brigade, and Twitter is a neo-Nazi shithole. This reflects the output of the commentary sphere altogether.
By the way, you hear the terminology he's using there. I'm going to let this segment finish, but then I'm going to tell you how this is salient to what I was talking about earlier in string.
Okay. So the commentary sphere has found itself in this like weird, edgy centrist to right-wing attitude on a lot of issues. And therefore, people like myself are persona non grata. I am literally the #1 op of virtually every drama tuber.
Okay, first up.
Okay, so by him basically classifying Twitter as a Nazi platform, this is what I was talking about at the top of the stream with the stopped terrorist attack. People like Hasan that have a big fucking audience that use this verbiage to dehumanize people and set them on a path to kill other people that they see as they're not like us. They are valid targets. This is what I'm talking about, where I'm saying that we are going to be seeing an escalation of this stuff because people like Hasan keep using this verbiage. People like Hasan keep classifying things as Nazi, as fascist, as Zionist, as whatever ist or phobe, and thus by him not saying that they should be killed. In fact, he's said the opposite, where he said that people like this should be killed. he is painting them as viable targets for his psychopathic following or others like him and their psychopathic following to start committing terrorist attacks. That is why I said what we saw, the terrorist attack that was stopped with the UFC fight, is we are seeing an escalation, and people like Hasan are instrumental in facilitating this kind of escalation. Any place that is considering platforming Hasan or hosting Hasan for him to continue to speak his vile, hate-filled rhetoric that is inciting violence needs to realize that shit may come back around, because if it comes out that the people that are committing these terrorist attacks are following the word of Hasan or the word of people like Hasan, and that they got this rhetoric by attending one of his venues or one of his events, then guess what's going to happen is these venues are going to be looked at as you are platforming people that are instrumental in inciting terroristic violence against civilians of the country. And I think that more and more venues are starting to realize this, and that's why Hasan has been getting booted out of venue after venue after venue lately, and why no venue is willing to host them. And every venue that he's approached has said, "Yeah, no bye. We're not fuck with you. You go right the fuck on home." And nope, thank you for the subby. Thank you very much.
Literally not true. Number one op of every drama tuber. Every single one, huh? I mean, I know you're a narcissist, but this is just illusion, man. We get it, Hasan. You're a big fan of my videos. You watch them every night. You jacket to them. It's a little concerning. But, you know, I'll take the views, I guess. Well, what is this terminal copium? Oh, all these slop tubers, they just get their notes from Twitter and Reddit, as opposed to Hasan, who gets his notes from Twitter and Reddit. Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but we get our notes from common sense. It is common sense to not support terrorists who kill civilians.
And I'm also going to point out, Hasan doesn't primarily get his talking points from Twitter and Reddit. You know where Hasan gets the majority of his talking points from? He gets them from his own chat. This is why I say that Hasan Piker is not an intelligent person. He is not. His mommy and daddy bought his degree in college. He did not earn his degree. He's actually too stupid he's actually too stupid to have earned a college degree. That was bought and paid for by his mommy and daddy, maybe his uncle, not sure. He managed to develop a good vocabulary, which he uses to con his audience. But in reality, he's not a smart person, because he gets his talking points from Twitter. He gets his talking points from Reddit, but more importantly, he gets his talking points from his own chat. Because you'll notice in a lot of the clips that we see of him, he sits there and has these long, drawn out pauses. And when he does, you can see him looking. He's looking at the screen. He's looking at the scroll of his chat to basically find either a talking point or a point of note in the current discussion that he can then cannibalize for himself and pretend like, I am so smart. I just came up with this all on my own. Yes, I did. Like, eventually even his own chat is going to figure out that he's a dumbass. He's actually not an intelligent person. He is a spoiled rich boy that does have a decent vocabulary, and that's literally all he's got. Eventually, they're going to figure that out. Some of them already have. That's why he's losing people. That's why his years-long subscribers are clowning on him on the regular, is they've come to the realization that, oh, this guy's actually not a smart person, and just vomits up whatever he gets from Twitter, Reddit, or his own chat, and actually doesn't have any original thoughts of his own.
I don't really need to consult the council of Twitter or read 1 million tweets in order to come to the wrong conclusion. Also, I love how our names change every single time. So it's like apolitical.
And by the way, you notice he's back to the Mao cosplay. This was the streamer who was saying, I got kicked out of the venue. The venue canceled on me and was like crying and crashing out about it. He's back to dressing up like Mao. Fucking LARPing.
YouTubers, the normie sphere, edgy centrists, right-wing slant. Yeah, we get it, man. Basically, the crux of it is if you disagree with Hasan, you're automatically like a right-wing Nazi. We get it, man. Apparently saying the most basic common sense shit, like don't support terrorists, don't shock your dog. That's like right-wing. That's Israel coded.
He lost a couple pounds so it would fit. He got a new suit. Hang on. We're at 2135. That's not the same suit. That's a different Mao suit. I think he got a new one tailored for his extra girth, because that's not the same one that he was wearing before. Nah, it's like a darker green, and the color is different. The color's not as open like the other one. So this is a different Mao cosplay than before. Yeah, it has that Hugo Boss vibe. You saw it. Yeah, you watched it too, didn't you? Yeah. It's definitely got the Hugo Boss vibe.
Apparently, and he wonders why people hate him. So then he starts calling us out for not talking about Donald Trump. Buddy, are you smoking crack? What are you talking about?
Virtually every content creator on the commentary sphere has presented me as literally the worst fucking person. Okay? They talk about me more than they talk about Donald Trump, for example. They talk about me more than they talk about the far-right figures, for example. Or even if they do talk about far-right figures, what do they always say? Oh, you know, this guy Asmongold, he fucked up. Rarely ever do they criticize Asmongold, but when they do, they'll say, well, Hasan and Asmongold are two sides of the same coin. Now, for adults with a functioning brain, they know that that's
not one of them.
Ridiculous, right? It's totally ridiculous. This is what I studied. This is what I went to college for. This is what I do professionally.
Guys,
you did not study for shit, Hasan. You partied throughout your entire college quote unquote career, and your mommy, your daddy, or your uncle bought your degree. You did not have a college career. Full stop. You're not an intelligent person. You did not earn a degree. It was purchased for you.
he's a professional. Look, he's wearing a suit. He's wearing a suit that he barely fits in. He's a professional. Don't you see? He has a communication degree from 1844. Don't you forget it. He's a well-educated
And by the way, he has a communication degree he claims is a poli-sci degree. Have you guys ever noticed that? He claims he has a political science degree when the degree he has is in communications. But he's claimed it's a poli-sci degree. So he's even inflating his own bullshit bought and paid for degree. That's how much of a LARPer, how much of a grifter he is. That he's even lying about his own degree. That he did not earn and was bought for him.
individual. He's read 2 million tweets now. We're up in those numbers right now. This is the guy we're dealing with. This is the educated political commentator we're dealing with. But he couldn't even name a book in 2 whole minutes.
When I was growing up.
Any books stick out in your head as memorable ones?
Oh no. I don't know.
Okay, let me just break this down for the lobotomite regards who are inevitably going to clip me, right? The reason we don't talk about Donald Trump is because he's not a YouTuber or Twitch streamer. We cover YouTube drama, you morons. Like, we're drama channels. The reason we talk about Hasan is because he's a Twitch streamer. He's in our space, and he happens to be an unhinged fucking lunatic, all right? I don't know how many times I need to say this. We don't care about politics, okay? I'm not American. I do not care, okay? Now, occasionally, I'll be forced to talk about something if it's interesting, right? Like, I made a video on the Jeffrey files because it was like a massive big thing, even though technically it was political. But for me, I'm just operating from PDF files are bad. Like, it's just a common sense opinion. It's not meant to be like a political thing. When I see the bricks and minifig situation, I'm not going, a cab, all cops are bad. No, I'm just like, hey, this is a clear instance of police corruption. Let's just call it out because it's common sense. It's called actually being neutral and being a normal person who isn't politically brain rotted and doesn't run every single thought through this fucking brain-dead political
Yes.
filter in which you completely warp your views depending on which side you're on the right or the left or whatever. The fact of the
Bingo.
matter is, our focus is obviously content creators. That's why we talk about like Nina Lynn or random TikTokers or Johnny Somali, right? Now, Hasan just happens to be an unhinged radical political moron as well. We don't want to talk about politics. It's literally the last thing I want to do. It seems miserable, unfun, divisive. And Hasan is always baffled. Why don't they talk about Asmongold as much, despite him being 10 times bigger, right? It's because you're obviously more unhinged. You openly support terrorists, right?
Exactly.
If Asmon starts acting more insane than Hasan, then everybody's going to start talking about him. It's just how it works. Also, I got to point out, your crash outs are way more funny. I mean, look at you, dude.
How can I be okay?
I mean, okay, hang on. Let me let him finish his screaming. Go ahead and scream, little baby.
hate all of you. I hate the woke. I hate woke. I hate the left. I hate the woke. If one more dumb in my chat says, please sue, I'm just going to end it. I'm going to end it all. I'm going to end my life, okay, in a video game.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, that's against Twitch TOS. Tectone got a suspension from Twitch for making a joke like that. Hasan didn't get it. Hasan did get one. Just wanted to point that out. That people have received suspensions from Twitch for making a joke about that. Hasan never got a suspension from it. Just saying.
Nobody else does this, man. Nobody has daily crash outs like this. You're obviously more fun to laugh at. So then he says that our attitude is far right.
There is no parity there. There is no equivalence there. Not even a moral equivalence, no political equivalence whatsoever. But from the perspective of even the most woke adjacent commentary content creators, they do look for a parity there. The reason for why is because the attitude in this sphere is unbelievably slanted to the fucking far right.
Dude, it's like impossible to have like good faith discourse with this guy. He
Right.
just like, you disagree with him 1%, you're automatically a far right Nazi. Like, nobody even believes a word he says anymore. Hasan is such a narcissist. The reason why people say you and Asmon are similar is you hide in your echo chamber of political extremism, afraid of confrontation. Plus, your entire brand is being a Nepo baby hypocrite who's more annoying to commentary people than Trump being a regard 24/7. Politics is different for normies. Most people don't even know who Hasan is. Fringe, radical, leftist, terrorist sympathizer, dog shocker. Most importantly, old and irrelevant. He really is the most insufferable and whiny guy on the internet right now. Yeah, well, he's definitely in the running. Hasan, you're a genuinely...
And yeah, like Asmon hiding in an echo chamber, no. He said that he doesn't want to debate with people. And like, Asmongold saying that he does not want to debate with people because he doesn't want to get... Because he's talked about this before, and people are conflating this to basically say that Asmongold is afraid to debate with someone. It's just, he doesn't... I'm paraphrasing here because I've heard he's mentioned, Asmongold's talked about mentioning like why he doesn't like to do debate. And I am paraphrasing here. This is not exact quote, but he's basically said like he doesn't want to deal with that kind of mentality of that stupid like arguing back and forth mentality where people are not going to listen to what the other person says and just turns into essentially speaking like a yelling match at one another where nobody's listening and everybody's just vomiting up their own opinion and without taking in the opinion of the other person, not even considering it. And he's just completely not interested in doing that, which I can respect that. The people that would actually want to debate, the people that would want to debate with Asmongold are people like Hasan, are people like Destiny, where all they would do is just scream at him and when Asmongold like brings up a point or address like brings up a counterpoint, they'll completely ignore it and they'll just stick with their programming and continue to vomit up the same bullshit over and over again. And that's why he has no interest in debating, which perfectly legitimate reason. But the freak show leftists will take that explanation and go, he's scared. He's scared to have his opinions challenged. When he's not. He just doesn't want to deal with the bullshit. But that's basically it. He's too rich to need to deal with any of that, like, to deal with any of that psychopathic babble where nobody's going to listen. He's got more money than he never needs. He streams for fun, legitimately. The only reason why he's streaming is he streams for fun, and he doesn't want to deal with the insane bullshit. That's it. And if he doesn't want to deal with the bullshit, I can respect that.
Unlikable dude. It's that simple. There we go. They get their opinions from Twitter. Meanwhile, on Hasan's computer, 400 Twitter tabs open every time. Every time. As a leftist myself, I criticize Hasan more because of his brand of fake Democrat. If we cut the rot out of our own party, Trump and his ilk don't stand a chance. This is like a valid reason. Like, he is an actual like cancer to the party, right? Speaking of Hasan's crash outs, here he is.
The problem with that thought process though is that cancer that Twitter user was talking about comprises the bulk of the party at this point. So cutting out that rot means that the party basically disappears because there will be nothing left after you cut out that rot. The rot makes up the prominent majority of it these days. That is the problem.
Is talking about him getting his ass fricked. Hasan responds to chatters who are upset at his general lack of revolutionary behavior, such as his decision to skip an outdoor rally due to perceived safety concerns.
I know it's really easy to just go on Twitter and be like, this guy is a sheepdog for the neoliberal Zionist Democratic Party. He just wants to take all this revolutionary potential of the masses and like feed it back in the Democratic Party. But like, there's a reason why they're not going after hammer and sickle Twitter users. And they're going after my bitch ass, okay? My Democratic Party sheepdog ass is getting ass fucked on a daily fucking basis.
Dude, the hammer and sickle Twitter users are you. They are literally you. You spawned the hammer and sickle Twitter users because you stand communism. You gas up communism every fucking stream that you have. They are your users. And the problem is you've radicalized them so much that when you go off your own path, your own radicalized followers go, you've deviated from the path of righteousness. You must be ended. And you've basically created the instrument of your own demise, and now you're hating this fact. So guess what? Sucks to suck. Fuck around and find out.
By numerous governments. Why the do you think they're not coming after you? Why? Why is it my ass that's getting fucking gaped? Why? I've been doing this shit for a decade. And until recently, until I decided to become more active in this part, in the electoral route a little bit, and actually put a couple fucking numbers on the leaderboard, ain't nobody was gaping my ass. And now it's gaped. Why do you think that's the case?
Okay, I have a question. Why is Hasan so obsessed with how wide his asshole has been spread? Is this just like is he verbalizing his wishful thinking at this point? Is he just verbalizing the desire to basically have someone come in with a bad dragon and just take care of business? Like, is my bad dragon insult no longer going to be effective with Hasan because he's secretly asking for that to happen? I mean, he's talked about having his asshole gaped numerous times. That's coming out of his own mouth. That's not me insinuating anything. That's him saying it multiple times about having his backside gaped open. Is he upset that no one's doing this for him on the daily? Inquiring minds don't want to know.
Why are they not yelling at you? You got the radical points. You're posting about Yahya Sinwar all day. Why are they not treating you in the same way? I don't even got a problem with that posting too. And yet you yell at me. Wake the fuck up.
And he wonders why people talk about him. It's because your crash outs are hilarious. Oh my god, bro.
Like, the tears. The tears are so delicious. What's so funny is his crash outs are coming closer and closer together. There is a shorter interval between crash outs these days. He's probably crashing out on stream at least 2 to 3 times per stream. They're coming fast and furious now. And I love every moment of it.
Really, dude? You're getting your ass fricked? I didn't know you were into that, man. I mean, I don't judge, to be honest. I'm a very tolerant, accepting individual.
He's becoming more and more volatile by the day.
What Hasan does in the bedroom. He really just is the happiest guy. We should all strive to be like Hasan, guys. Anyways, things are not going well for Hasan. He's being blacklisted from everywhere and he is crashing out. Here we go. The Ogden Theater has now canceled Hasan Piker's appearance at the Young, Bold, and Unbought rally. The senator who was supposed to appear with Hasan has decided to no longer participate due to venue cancellation. Hasan sports his communist outfit. Power to the people, and this was like the event. Senator Julie's statement. Today I'm deciding to no longer participate in the rally with Hasan Piker. I appreciate Hasan and these people for inviting us to engage. Hasan reacts to being
Well, by the way, this is performative. I don't want to participate because any of these people that are going, I don't want to participate because I'm fearful for safety. That is 100% performative. 100%, because it's not the left or communist events like this that are the ones that are in danger. The ones that are now that have been like where a danger has been posed to them. Those events have all been center or right leaning. Those are the ones that the threat has been placed upon, not the leftist ones. No leftist event has had a threat of danger of people being harmed or killed at them. It is only the center or the right that have had this threat, i.e. the UFC event that was going to be taking place at the White House, where there was an attempted terrorist attack that was thankfully thwarted. That was by all tokens, a quote-unquote right-leaning event. Even though it wasn't, even though it was not political in any way, it was being held on the White House, which is currently under the auspice of the right. Those are the only ones where there is a threat hanging over it. So this thing, we're not going to take part in this because there's a danger to us. Pure performative bullshit. There is no threat. Because their side is the one doing all of their side is the one that is the side of that is dangerous. Their side is the one that is doing all of the threatening. Their side is the one that is doing all of the killing.
Blacklisted from speaking at Denver-based event centers.
Fuck. Honestly, good luck, dude. Why are they all canceling? I think part of it is because I'm appearing. God damn, dude. This shit is
because
so
you've been slated
ass.
killers.
Like, oh God, it's so.
Yeah, because they're seeing the writing on the wall. They know his rhetoric. They know that he's already under investigation by the Treasury Department. He needs to be under investigation by the FBI. And they see the writing on the wall. They can see which way the wind is blowing, and they know that people like him are gonna that the law is going to be coming after them very soon for inciting terrorism on the home front. That's why they're backing off. They want nothing to do with someone who has instigated and inspired domestic terrorism. Simple as that.
So fucking nasty.
Someone should play the fa sound effect. He really loves that one, doesn't he? Glad to see that his side is winning. He's always winning, guys. We have the numbers. We have the numbers. People are always on our side. That's why he's been banned from the UK. I wonder, guys, why people don't want to be associated with Hasan. What could it be? What could it be, guys? 10 toes down. Yep, that's working out great for him. Imperial Grand Moff outfit. Right, so then he starts playing victim, saying that Charlie Kirk never had this treatment of being, like, blacklisted. Hasan calls...
Yeah, because Charlie Kirk never called for people's death. Charlie Kirk never inspired violence or incited violence. He inspired or incited critical thinking and challenged people's viewpoints, but he never called for people to be killed. Hasan has done that on the fucking regular. There's the difference. It's not. It's a big difference, so even Hasan should see it, but of course, he's not a smart person, so he can't see that.
Out the Democrats for not having his back after numerous Denver venues canceled his political rally last minute.
Try harder.
Big business owners that are capitulating to at a time when there's unprecedented amounts of attacks on free speech. These are big business owners.
Yeah, who do you think those attacks are being performed against, Hasan? They're not being performed against people like you. Okay? The attacks against free speech are being performed against the people that are your quote unquote opponents. Suck it up, Buttercup, and cry harder. I need some more ingredients for my stew.
That seemingly are supposed to be apolitical or liberal adjacent, turning around and leaning into the right-wing smears. Like,
see,
this
he's
kind of
inciting even
disruption
more.
does not happen to right-wingers, man. This kind of disruption, regardless of the amount of push.
No, because the disruption that happens to right-wingers is you kill them. That is the difference. The disruption, the quote-unquote disruption, is our literal terrorist attacks against them. And these venues are starting to see this and go, we do not want to be a part of this whatsoever because we don't want this shit backsplash to cover us.
Fact that they receive from actual student groups and actual protesters and actual organizers. Schools never do this kind of thing. Venues never do this kind of thing for Ben Shapiro. They never did this kind of thing for Charlie Kirk. It only goes in one direction.
Hassan, you colossal doofus. They killed Charlie Kirk. They assassinated him. How are you still...
And who did that? Someone from the left. Who has done all who is facilitating these killings? It's the ones from the left. And you're crying because some venues like, I don't want to get involved in this shit. We do not want our venue to basically get a political backsplash, especially now. And you're going to cry about it when it's your side that's doing all the killing. Just shut the fuck up. Fuckity bye.
The victim. Oh my god, I cannot, bro. I would be so mad. This guy is still crying when his opponent is dead. His debate opponent is literally dead. He still cannot let him rest in peace. He has to dig that shit up and keeps...
And by the way, I'm going to point this out because I'll point it out all the time. Hasan was supposed to debate Charlie Kirk 2 weeks after the date of when he was assassinated. And Hasan said recently on a stream that Charlie Kirk hid from the debate with him. Like, he was talking about people that like backed off or ran away or hid when they were supposed to debate him, and he brought up Tucker Carlson. He first brought up Tucker Carlson, saying that he ran away and hid, and then he brought up Charlie Kirk. You know, the guy that got killed, and said, "Oh, Charlie Kirk is running and ran and hide from our debate," when this guy got literally assassinated. That's the way this dumbass's brain works, is that when someone kills his opponent, oh, that opponent is just running and hiding from the debate. That's how brain dead, how psychotic Hasan is.
Spitting. This absolute moron goes, there's no way, they canceled my venue. At least you're alive, man. How are you comparing this to Charlie Kirk?
Yes.
At least you're not dealing with radical extremist terrorist supporters who justify murder. This guy rightfully gets banned for like stupid shit like supporting terrorism, and then he starts crying like, dude, it's the consequences of your own actions. So then he starts crying at lefties not defending him.
I find that very odd. Yeah, like Milo Yiannopoulos, like people who are rabble-rousers and firebrands, but spew hateful rhetoric on purpose. Those people, never got their venues canceled.
Yeah, because they're not terrorists. They don't support actual terrorists. They don't espouse terrorist rhetoric. They do not inspire terrorism. You do. It's as literally that simple.
There was never an instance where these venues were canceled. And what's better yet, here's what's interesting about this. There wasn't even any like real protests. No one was like, oh my God, Hasan's coming to Denver. I protest that. It's just phone calls. It's just shady backroom deals. That's what makes it even crazier, because it's not like there are a lot of people there. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of people who were excited to participate in this event. There are moments where you bury the hatchet, okay? Even if there is like factional infighting amongst the left and the liberals, this is an instance where you bury the hatchet to fight back against the Republican forces that we are supposedly aligned in combating.
hearing this. This is what I'm talking about. He's using, like, he knows that things are really hot right now. That people on the left are committing violence for the sake, in the name of the left. And he is using deliberate, aggressive language, referring to this is who we are in combat with. This is who we lock arms with. He's using deliberately inflammatory language to incite violence. This is basically him inciting violence by using combative type language. Yeah. The FBI needs to investigate him. The FBI needs to put him in a room and interrogate and do an investigation against him. They really do, because this guy is one of the number one figures that is causing problems in the United States. He is the instigator. He is the rabble rouser that is resulting in people that are causing violence in the country right now. He is inspiring terrorism in the United States right now. The FBI needs to put him in a room. Like yesterday. And Wolf Mother, thank you for the gifted.
Okay? That's how it works. Republicans understand that, and they let bygones be bygones all the time. They put their differences aside when it comes down to combating liberalism, leftism, and all manner of progress.
Of course, Hasan, who shits on Democrats all day, calls himself the left flank. He goes, help me, they're silencing my free speech. Guy who makes no allies, constantly shits on everyone who disagrees with him 1%, is now surprised that no one is on his side. Can't make this shit up. Nobody wants Hasan besides the fringe regarded bubble he has on the internet. No accountability. Expects other people to tank his damage. Pretends to be a victim. Straight from the, oh my god. So then Destiny responded having a monumental crash out.
Oh, nerd.
Never do this kind of thing. Venues never do this kind
Here
of
we
thing for Ben
go.
Shapiro. They never do this kind of thing for Charlie Kirk. It only goes in one direction.
Oh my god.
I find it very odd.
Like, how crazy do you have to be to be like, stuff like this doesn't happen to like Charlie Kirk. He never got any pushback. Like, Lil Bro got assassinated. Holy shit. Lil Bro got murked. We have verbs now that we use in the United States of America to describe people getting assassinated as a result of his killing. Charlie Kirk never had to deal with this shit.
Exactly.
He's dead.
Exactly.
That guy got killed, bro.
Dude, you just know you're cooked when even Destiny is making sense and he is having sympathy for right-wingers. Like, even this complete psycho is like, dude, are you kidding me? Are you actually serious right now?
You know you fucked up when Destiny is on the side of your mutual opponents. That is the pinnacle of you done fucked up, Gaber. Maybe it's time to pack it in. When Destiny, of all people, is on the side of your opponents.
Man gets assassinated. Hasan is the true victim. Guys, this never happened to Charlie Kirk, bro. That guy just had it easy, man. You know, he could just go to any college campus and just talk freely. Yeah, even that, I don't know. I'm pretty sure like half the colleges wanted him canceled like every time. There's a bunch of protests against him going there. They hated him so much. They flippin' killed him in order to not hear him talk anymore. It's complete insanity. And still.
And then danced on his grave. That can never be understated. They not only killed him to keep him from talking, but then danced on his grave to try and tarnish his memory even further.
Somehow, Hasan is the ultimate victim. This might be the most regarded shit he's ever said. So then Destiny just loses it.
Yeah, like Milo Yiannopoulos, like people who are rabble rousers and firebrands.
Milo got banned from like 30 different countries, kicked out of how many fucking colleges, and is so fucking canceled. Literally nobody in the entire political world wants to have anything to fucking do with except for sometimes Kanye West when he's off his meds. What are you talking about?
Yeah, as one of you guys said, Milo Yiannopoulos is persona non grata. He's fucking done. Nobody will have anything to do with him.
Audience is so politically retarded. They don't know anything about what's going on. Even in the online political world, they don't know anything. That's crazy. I can understand maybe being too online and not knowing real politics, but not even in the online political world, they have no idea what's going on. What the fuck?
I wish I had. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I wish I had more. I wish I had more allies amongst liberals.
It's actual degenerate fuck. He's an actual degenerate fuck. And the fact that there are still libcucks out there that give him the fucking benefit of the doubt drives me crazy. Oh my god. It actually drives me insane how much of a duplicitous backstabbing fucking snake this piece of shit is. Holy
Oh my god. Dude, if you thought that you were a Hasan hater, you're not even like top 10,000. Destiny and his fans are like a rank 1 to rank 10k, okay? They fill up the slots like straight up.
Yeah, I mean, this is pot calling the kettle black, but the fact is that you're gonna get, if you're gonna say something so stupid, you're gonna get Destiny this hot about what you said, you've really fucked up.
They're typing some heinous shit about like Minecraft jumping off a cliff, let's just say it. This is a complete battle of the unhinged. Rare Destiny W, what Hasan says was so regarded and delusional that pretty much anyone could have done it, and I'm so glad that he said it. Hasan doesn't have liberal allies because he's attacked liberals nonstop for years, along with the rest of the leftist tanky losers. Hasan should be banned from Twitch politics channel until he gets educated. Shut up! He has a degree from 1844. Now click this video. Thank you all for the support. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Holy crap. Yeah, this is just like, again, we're seeing an escalation. And I think Hasan's rhetoric is only going to ramp up. That's not going to be good for anybody. And it's why they need to open an investigation. It's 100% why the FBI needs to start seriously investigating Hasan, like actively. Like they need to pull him into a room and actually investigate and question him. Because he is only furthering the issues of violence that we're seeing in the modern day. He is one of the big reasons why we're seeing an exponential escalation of this, where these incidents of terroristic violence are coming so fast together and are actually increasing in scope. I actually fear what the next terrorist attack or terrorist attempt is going to be, what the scope of it is, and what its location is going to be. What if the next time it's like a college that does not like rigidly ascribe to leftist values? What if it's going to be, what if it's going to be a mall that is frequented by quote unquote right wingers or something? Like, it's going to get bigger, it's going to get worse, and they're going to be coming faster and faster and faster. And I do fear that the country may end up going the route of like these third world countries that are getting terrorist, like homegrown terrorist attacks, like every other fucking week. It's just, shit needs to change. Shit needs to change fast. Law enforcement needs to get on the fucking ball. Law enforcement needs to step shit up. They need to stop pussyfooting around. They need to start putting people in the box.
Ember burns bright, bright.